Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Katie, the Mountain Mystic, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Whether you are brand new to the channel or returning, I'm so happy to be here with you today in practice. As always, we've got practice here today and also some conversation as we speak to the embodied path, embodied living, weaving in some earth embodiment, some new earth embodiment conversation as we come together in this space that is centered on embodiment, that is present, centered connection, your whole self embodied as the human being that you are on this planet Earth. Here we get to do the beautiful work that, yes, we, our own individual sovereign selves, are ready for, the healing, the transformation, right? Those spaces that we are ready to step into. And we get to do it in alignment with planet Earth, with the whole web of life here on planet Earth. Doing the work, whether it is gentle and light and loving and grace-filled, or whether that is, what's the opposite of that? Thinking of like boots on the ground, hard work, focus-centered kind of work. Regardless, what we get to do here is to be in the bright and beautiful space that is connection with self, connection with planet Earth, with nature, with life on planet Earth. And in doing so, in being in these practices that connect us in, we get to be on that path of healing, of light-filled transformation for self and for all of life on planet Earth. So if that sounds wonderful to you, then I'm so happy to have you here to be in this space today. I'll tell you, these are one of my favorite videos to record because I just got done with circle, and today we had our first earth embodiment circle. This one is a new circle that is coming into form. We had our first circle today. We had 7 powerful, amazing women there. And what's special about this circle is that it's open to you. Unlike some of my other circles, this one is open. This one is open, free of charge, at least for now. Maybe that'll change in the future, maybe it won't. But the circle is open to those individuals who are called heart and soul to do this work, and to do this work together in community, to do this work in a space that's not just me on one side of the camera at a different point in time. Yes, that's powerful. But what I love more than anything is circle, where we can come together and weave the energy together so that you can share, and in sharing, let that be a part of the energy of the circle. So if that speaks to you, make sure to go check out upwardslopes.com/circle. Be part of the newsletter. Send me a message. Let me know you're interested. Katie@upwardslopes.com, or find me on Instagram. It's Katie the Mountain Mystic. So many different ways to get in touch. What I love about these internet spaces is that they do allow us to connect in all these different ways. And if you're someone who just likes to watch these videos and do the practices on your own, that's amazing. I deeply honor that. If you want to connect in more deeply to community, join in life circles, then follow that. So with that, let's get started today. let's get started today. Let's get started with some grounding. Let's get started with some connection. Embodied connection. And let's really focus today on that body piece. Your body, as the sovereign human being that you are, embodied in this body that you are, for all its wonder, for all the joy, for all those good feels, the beautiful things that you get to experience being in this body. And for all the challenges, for all the pain, for all the discomfort. Here in embodiment work, we get to honor all of it. And yes, we get to be on a path that we can speak to words of healing, of light-filled transformations, of calling in joy, deeper fulfillment, those good feels that we want to feel. But what we are doing on this path more than anything is honoring the fullness of what it means to be embodied as a human being on this planet Earth. Honoring all that comes with it, the pain, even the suffering. So many spiritual paths are about transcending all of that. And maybe that's something you're pursuing, and if so, that's beautiful. Here in this space, what we are in devotion to, what we are honoring, is what is here already. What is present in this moment and in every moment. And what's present in this moment, well, I'm not here to tell you that. It's your task to feel into this moment, to sense into this moment, to maybe turn your gaze inward. And of course, as I'm cueing this, the invitation is to do it. And let's do this a little bit more seriously here. Kind of shifting into practice mode. If you're able to pause whatever you're doing, if you are doing something that's other than giving your full undivided attention to this space. But if you can't, maybe that's shifting a little bit more attention to this space. Taking some deep breaths into your body. Letting your breath be your guide into self. Letting your breath be the guide into the sensations, the feelings, the emotions, the knowings that are present here in this moment. And as you do this, maybe you notice that you are invited in with a lot of grace, a lot of welcoming. It might feel good to turn your gaze inward, to breathe into your body, to sense and feel, know what is here. Or maybe it might be the case that to some degree, it's challenging to turn inward. You might notice feelings, sensations, thoughts, knowings that are here that are unpleasant. And that's okay too. You don't need to push them away, but you also don't need to attach yourself to them. Instead, can we be in a practice of noticing? Just noticing what is here. Does it feel good to tune inward, to feel, to sense into what is here present as you are embodied? This is a crunchy space. Is there pain here? And to the degree you are able, Just honoring what is here. Because what is here is life. And life is beautiful and wonderful and joyful. And it's also crunchy and it's also painful. And that's the human experience. And as human beings have a tendency to want to only honor and devote ourselves to the light-filled, right? The joy-filled, the peaceful parts of life. And there are spaces and time to do so. And there are people here who get to be devoted to this path fully. And if that's you, honoring that. What we are doing here is similar. We are here to call in more light, to embody more light, more joy, more peace, more grace. Here, we are here to be in all of it. Just feeling into that for a moment. I know I just got like this deep breath, like, oh, hell yes. Thank God, thank Goddess. I no longer have to spend all my time working so hard to push away that which is dark and crunchy and painful. I no longer have to work so hard to heal and to transform. But now I can just be here, present in what is, and honor what is here. If you're like me, as an individual living in the year 2025, someone with access to the news and social media in particular, that gives me direct access to individual accounts of what is being experienced for people around the world. It's a painful time. There's guilt that I can't do more to change things. There's guilt about the systems I'm caught up in and the role that I therefore play in the perpetuation, the ongoing suffering. Of course, there's my own life and all the challenges that I'm facing living in this, shall we say, messed up world. And there is beauty here and there is wonder here. I climbed a mountain yesterday, which is something I have a tendency of doing. The name, the Mountain Mystic, doesn't come from a purely mystical, ideological space. The Mountain Mystic comes from the space of being someone who has a tendency to climb mountains. And it's springtime here, and I got my first big mountain summit over in Santa Fe, Baldy mountain, 12,500 something feet, raised high above tree line. And what I love about climbing mountains is that the journey teaches me all of this. Because if you've ever climbed a mountain or hiked up a hill, you know that it's crunchy. There's pain. There is extreme discomfort. And along the way, one gets to turn your attention to Earth and how beautiful she is in all her different expressions. Yesterday, I got to go through the forest. In her spring forms, there's so much snow, ice. There are these ice crystals. I'd never seen them before. They're all over on the ground. It's like the ground, as it's melting out and then freezing again, is forming these ice crystals. I posted a picture on Instagram. These ice crystals. How cool is that? And at the same time, there's grass and flowers and the first budding leaves. And of course, the pine trees. Oh, if you guys know me, you know how much I love the pine trees. So what I'm trying to say here, is that life is like a trip up a mountain. There is all the discomfort. Oftentimes, there's all the efforting, the striving to get somewhere. The pain, the frustration, the thoughts, oh, am I going to make it to where I want to go? And that's all here. Also, there is the joy, the beauty, the wonder, the amazement. Every step along the journey, every single step along the journey, you have a choice. You can turn your attention to the pain, the suffering, the discomfort, and it's an and because you can do more than one thing at one time. You can shift your attention to the beauty, the wonder, the joy, the amazement. And if you think that this is a conversation where I get to tell you that the right thing to do is to ignore the pain and discomfort and to focus only on the light, then you have the wrong space. Because I can tell you, as someone who has climbed many mountains, that if you ignore the pain and the discomfort, then you're not going to get very far. You're not going to get very far because it turns out that pain, that discomfort, that suffering, well, there's a reason it's here. It's telling you something. And it is your job, your duty, to learn to understand what that information is telling you. Because it could be telling you something important. That you're hungry, that you need more food. And if you don't listen to that and feed yourself, then you're not going to get very far. Or worse, you're going to get too far and get stuck out there. Maybe there's a pain in your leg and you get to discern whether that pain is just fatigue and discomfort that's telling you something like, yeah, there's pain there, but honestly, it's okay. Or maybe that pain is telling you something serious, like, hey, you got to slow down or take a break or turn around now. Because if you keep going like this, something's going to break. And then you're going to be in a bad situation. It's funny, I didn't know we were going to talk about the mountain here today. I'm in the middle of recording a podcast on the mountain. In the last video I recorded and posted, we focused on the forest, and I took you on a little journey through the forest. And then I knew it was time to shift our attention to the mountain, so I started recording a podcast. But here we are on YouTube, speaking to the mountain. The mountain that is my inspiration, my greatest teacher, a greatest source of pleasure. Oh my God, how much joy and fulfillment I get from climbing mountains. The mountain is a metaphor. I like to speak to it as a metaphor that goes beyond a metaphor because it's a very lived, real experience. We go through life climbing mountains. Maybe it's a real mountain, or maybe it's any sort of journey you go on in life where there's a point that you want to get to because there's a desire in you to get there. Yes, what is here? Oh, there is so much that's already here. And we could stay here and bring more consciousness to what's here. Be present in this moment. And that's an important thing to do. Deepen into that presence. Be here now. and stillness. But life demands forward movement. It demands that we move forward. And as we move forward in life, we get to make choices. Sometimes, yes, we're forced in certain directions. But overall, we get to be these active co-creators in life, choosing where we're going or else how we get there. And when life is really good, we get to make these choices based on desire. Because your heart, in connection to your soul, has a place to get to. And with this, your heart, in connection to your soul, speaks to you in form of desire. Last week, I was looking out my window and I was noticing that the snow was melting out over in the Sangre de Cristos in the Santa Fe Mountains. And I've been doing all of my trail running and hiking over here in the Jemez Mountains. They're very different mountains. Here, we're going through a very powerful desertification process. It's dry, it's desert-like. The trees are few and far between. Over there in the Sangre de Cristos, the forest is ancient. It is thick. Water flows from the recent snowmelt. And life takes a different form. And looking over there the other day, noticing that the snow is melting off, so I, got this idea, came forth as a desire to go summit my favorite peak over there. Again, I've summited it many times. I'll summit it many more times. But this desire, and then through my will, I got myself there. And then with a conscious intention, followed by each aligned step, I took every step that was required to get myself up that mountain and back down. Again, this is a metaphor for the journeys we take in life. Where do you want to get to? Where do you desire to get to? And as I say that, I feel my heart. So maybe here in this moment, can shift your attention a little bit more fully into your body. Breathe down into your body. As you breathe into your body, maybe you feel a little bit deeper into your heart. In this moment, is there a desire here? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. In this desire coming from heart, maybe even go a little bit deeper and drop down a little bit deeper, that heart in connection to soul. Is there a desire here that wants to move you on a journey? Heart in connection to soul. Maybe there is in this moment, maybe there's not. Regardless, there's an invitation for a practice here to take time to breathe into self. Right, this is the core of embodiment work. This is where we started in this video. This ability to be present within self, within your body. And as you are present here, you might notice that there is pain, that there's discomfort, or maybe it's a hit of intuition or knowing that there's something here to do that has to do with self, that maybe has to do with your body. Maybe there's a pain that makes you curious and you need to go get it checked out, or Maybe it's something you've been actively working through. Maybe it's something stuck, like some stagnant, stuck energy, and it's asking for more of your attention. And bringing your attention, your awareness there, what happens? Does it shift? Does it change? Does it tell you something? In this practice, bringing your attention to your heart space, letting your heart fill with your consciousness, and letting your heart light up with desire. Where is it leading you? Where is it guiding you? Where does it want you to go? And it, of course, being a part of you. This is not separate from you. This is your sovereign self, the sovereign being that you are, guiding yourself. Doing so with more skill, with more light. From there, taking a breath. And then another. Just feeling into self. Maybe feeling into self in connection to the ground beneath you, to the earth beneath you, to the earth around you. Breathing with the trees, the plant life around you, this reciprocal breath that breathes life into you as you breathe life into it. And feeling into the ground, the dirt, the rocks, the soil that holds you. Breathing with the water that nurtures you, that sustains your life and the life of all that is around you. It's been a fun conversation. Got to focus a little bit on the practice that is being present in and as your own body. A practice that can be joyful, can feel good, can also feel crunchy, can be uncomfortable. Honoring all of it. Then we get to be on these journeys where we take these bodies of ours, these whole selves that we are. We get to move. We get to orient ourselves in a direction and go that way. And as we take each step in that direction, we get to be present and embodied every step of the way so that we can be discerning, and also so we can receive the joy and the beauty and the wonder and amazement. And all the while, so we can walk through life feeling deeply connected and deeply fulfilled. Whew. I thank you so much for hanging out with me in this video today. Again, an invitation to join me in this sort of space live on Zoom. upwardslopes.com/circle will give you some of that information. Feel free to reach out. Let me know that you're interested. Follow me on Instagram, Katie the Mountain Mystic. Follow me on Substack. All the places that we can connect. Once again, I thank you so much for being here with me here in this space today, and I look forward to catching you in whatever the next space is that we find ourselves in.